Good afternoon and welcome to the weekly weather briefing provided by the National Weather Service in Atlanta. My name is Scott Carroll. I'm a meteorologist here at the National Weather Service, and I'll be guiding you through the next week's weather. Here are the highlights that we're expecting for the next week's worth of weather. Dry conditions are expected today. Slowly increasing chances for afternoon and evening shower and thunderstorm activity are expected from Friday into next week. Increases in rain chances will gradually spread from south to north. Rain chances remain at or below climatological normals until the middle of next week. Temperatures and humidities will slowly increase through the weekend. Heat indices will slowly climb but are expected to remain below heat advisory criteria through early next week. Heat indices may become a concern once again by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. At this time, the tropics look to be mostly quiet into the middle of next week. Here are the current conditions from around the area for Thursday, July 11th. Quiet weather is currently occurring with a weak front nearly stalled just south of the area, as you can see on the weather map on the left-hand panel. Low dew points in the middle panel are making daytime temperatures more bearable. And as you can see on the right, the radar loop is basically rain-free across the area. Forecast high temperatures for today are expected to be mostly in the lower to mid 90s across the region, with the exception being some temperatures in the upper 80s across the northeastern mountains. This is a little bit warmer than what we experienced on Wednesday, but humidities once again are making it a little more bearable. And as you can see on the right-hand panel, the chance of rain for this afternoon is basically nothing. As we head into Friday, here are the expected high temperatures, and once again, there's a little bit of an uptick in the temperatures with readings ranging from near 90 in the northeastern mountains to mid to upper 90s across the remainder of the state. And as you can see on the right-hand panel, chances of rain increasing a bit over the eastern portion of the area, but basically in our county warning area, isolated to low-end scattered shower and thunderstorm activity, mainly across the extreme east. Here's the weekend weather pattern for Saturday and Sunday. As you can see, that front down to the south is lingering there with a weak area of low pressure developing near the southeastern Georgia coastline. That's on Saturday. And as you can see, the rainfall is mainly confined once again to the extreme eastern portion of our area, and especially coastal sections of South Carolina and Georgia and down into the Florida Peninsula. Moisture will begin to increase from the south on Sunday as that low weakens offshore, and the nearly stationary front lifts a little bit farther to the north. Isolated to low-end scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected across most of central Georgia by Sunday afternoon and evening. Here are the forecast high temperatures for Saturday and Sunday, and as you can see, basically about the same each day, about a degree warmer on average for Sunday versus Saturday, but widespread 90s. You even see a few low 100-degree readings popping up, and even in the northeastern mountains by Saturday and especially Sunday, most areas except the highest peaks will reach into the lower 90s. Here are the weekend rain chances from around the area, and as you can see for Saturday and Sunday, just an increase gradually in rain chances from southeast to northwest. On Saturday, most of northwestern Georgia remains dry, but by Sunday you can start to see isolated shower and thunderstorm activity, making it almost into the northwestern corner of the state there. Here are a couple of tables of maximum temperature and maximum heat index forecasts for selected points around our area. And as you can see, both the temperatures and the heat index values are on the increase as we get through the weekend and into the early part of next week. The temperatures actually begin to level off as we get around the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame, but the moisture across the area is going to continue to gradually increase. So you can see the heat index values continue to rise as we get into Wednesday. Our heat advisory criteria for this area is 105 for the heat index, and as you can see, we may need to start thinking about heat advisory conditions once again as we get into Tuesday and especially Wednesday of next week. And here's a table of the probability of precipitation forecast, or POP, for the next week. And as you can see across the area, rainfall chances gradually increase, particularly as we get into next week. And on the right-hand image, you can see the forecast rainfall totals for the entire week period. And as you would expect, with moisture increasing from south to north, we've got the highest forecast rainfall totals across the southern portion of our area, with lesser amounts across the north. Nothing really too major as far as rainfall totals, even across the south though, and it's much needed rain across the area. And here's a look at the weather maps for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. As you can see, we've got a fairly weak ridge of high pressure remaining across the southeastern United States and extending on into the Atlantic. Rainfall gradually increasing, as we already discussed, from southeast to northwest as we get into midweek next week. And you can also begin to see on the Thursday panel in the lower right a weak cold front approaching from the northwest, and that will add to the moisture and lift, and we should see some higher than climatology rainfall chances by that point, and that's on Thursday. Here's a look at the 6 to 10 day outlook of temperature and precipitation. And this takes us from the end of our forecast period that we're currently discussing and on into the next week. And as you can see, we're still calling for above normal temperatures, and by that point, above normal precipitation chances. And here's the latest look at the tropical outlook for the next 7 days from the National Hurricane Center. We've got a 10% chance of that weak surface low along the southeast Georgia coast developing into a weak tropical system during the next 48 hours. The remainder of the tropics are currently quiet, but as always, you need to keep abreast of the latest tropical forecast during hurricane season, as that could change. Now, looking back at what we've covered in this briefing, dry conditions again are expected today, slowly increasing chances for afternoon and evening shower and thunderstorm activity from Friday into next week. Increases in rain chances will gradually spread from south to north. Rain chances remain at or below climatological normals into the middle of next week. Temperatures and humidities will slowly increase through the weekend. Heat indices will slowly climb, but are expected to remain below heat advisory criteria through early next week. But as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, we may have to worry about heat advisories once again as heat indices continue to climb. And at this time, the tropics look to be mostly quiet into the middle of next week. Here's a list of contact information for the National Weather Service in Atlanta. And our next briefing is expected by Thursday, July 18th of next week. Thanks for joining us.